Welcome to the deep dive. Today we've got, well, quite a stack of sources. We're looking into a really singular, pretty mind-bending mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission, really, is to try and navigate this unbelievable case of Father Paul Bartholomew. It's a story that forces you, the listener, to kind of reconcile high-level quantum physics
Right.
with genuine religious phenomena and even forensic psychiatry. It's this clash, isn't it? Belief versus total skepticism.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all centers on one of the most debated artifacts ever, the Shroud of Turin.
Okay.
So it really is the ultimate battle for reality, and our sources definitely treat it like that. We're exploring the journey of this man, Paul Bartholomew, who started out as a scientific prodigy, a particle physicist, no less. And then this near-death experience just violently shoves him into the spiritual realm. Suddenly he's manifesting the literal precise wounds you see on the shroud.
And the Vatican, in this really interesting move, puts him under the care of a complete skeptic.
An arch skeptic, yeah. Dr. Stephen Castle, an atheist psychiatrist. Talk about intellectual conflict.
So our sources really lay out these battle lines perfectly. You've got Dr. Castle's psychological skepticism saying it's all delusion.
Sure, delusion, yeah.
Then there's the scientific debunking led by a chemist, Dr. Gabrielli.
Right, arguing it's a fricka.
But then you have the defense of historical authenticity from Father Mitta.
And then things get really wild.
Yeah, the theoretical physics angle from Dr. Buchholz at CERN. So our job is to be the neutral guides through this information war.
Okay, so let's start with the man himself. Father Paul Bartholomew. We're not talking about just anyone who, found religion later in life. This guy was an intellectual heavyweight.
Absolutely. I mean, the sources say he was the youngest physicist ever asked to join the faculty at Princeton's Institute for Advanced Study.
That's Einstein territory.
Exactly, where the descendants of Einstein go to work, right? He was tackling huge unsolved quantum problems, specifically wrestling with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Which is, the idea that you can't know a particle's exact position and momentum at the same time. He was looking for the universe's ultimate equation.
But then his pursuit of God through science, it kind of hit a wall when his mother died of ALS.
Yeah. That was the catalyst, wasn't it?
Seems like it. He apparently concluded God wasn't in a particle accelerator or a quantum equation, resigned from Princeton, became a priest.
Wow. That's a massive pivot. But rooted in, trauma.
And then came the accident. A horrific car crash. He was declared clinically dead for, almost 10 minutes?
Nearly 10 minutes, yeah. And his near-death experience, the NDE, it was textbook in some ways. The tunnel, the light.
Seeing deceased relatives, his mother specifically.
Right. But the critical part, according to him, was meeting the Ancient One, who he identified as God, and getting a mission.
A very specific mission. Return to Earth, decipher the message in the Shroud of Turin.
What's fascinating, though, is the timing. He spends 3 years in intense physical rehab from the crash. It's only after he's physically recovered that this mission starts manifesting, physically, on his body.
Okay, and this is where it stops sounding like, just a story and starts sounding like forensic science.
Yeah.
The first thing was stigmata.
While saying Mass.
But the detail that sort of throws out the usual assumptions, fraud, self-infliction is the placement.
Right. The wounds were in his wrists, not his palms.
Why is that so key?
Well, that precision is crucial because it matches exactly what the shroud suggests and what forensic analysis of crucifixion tells us. Nails in the palms, they'd rip right out, couldn't support the body weight. But the wrists, specifically that space between the bones, the destot space, that would hold. So this detail, appearing spontaneously, it lends, incredible weight to his claims.
And the wounds escalated from there.
They did. He then suffered these horrific scourging wounds all over his body, lash marks.
And forensic experts ID'd them as the distinct dumbbell-shaped marks seen on the man in the shroud. Very specific.
Very specific. And then comes the medical kicker from Dr. Lin, his attending physician.
The healing.
The healing. These severe, precise injuries healed with, miraculous speed. Sources confirm they vanished completely, no trace, in less than 4 days.
So you've got anatomically correct, brutal wounds replicating ancient torture.
Followed by unexplained, near-instant regeneration.
Okay. Documented physical reality, just defying biology. So if you're the Vatican, you can't just call this a miracle straight away, right? You have to investigate.
You have to bring in the hard skeptic, which is exactly how Dr. Stephen Castle enters the picture.
The famous atheist psychiatrist, author of The God Illusion.
That's him, hardliner. And his professional judgment was immediate, firm. Bartholomew was suffering from severe dissociative identity disorder, Multiple personalities, basically.
And the physical stuff, the wounds.
Psychosomatic, according to Castle, induced by Bartholomew's subconscious internalizing the shroud image, which apparently he'd studied intensely since he was young.
But the dynamic between them wasn't just doctor-patient, was it? It was way more confrontational.
Oh, absolutely. The human conflict is maybe the most compelling part of the narrative here. Bartholomew challenged Castle constantly, called him Dr. Freud, even tried to psychoanalyze Castle's own guilt about his deceased wife.
Wow.
Yeah, psychological warfare. Bartholomew insisted his experience was real, claimed Jesus was literally sitting on Castle's couch during their sessions, guiding things.
That must have driven Castle, the ultimate rationalist, nearly mad.
You have to imagine. It was this extraordinary test of Castle's professional detachment against what looked, for all the world, like genuine spiritual possession or phenomena.
So Castle's entire worldview religion as mass delusion is under attack. Not just by claims, but by physical evidence he can't easily explain away.
Exactly. And this brings us right back to the core debate
Yeah.
of the shroud itself. Because if the shroud is fake, then okay, maybe the wounds are just psychosomatic delusion.
But if the shroud is real...
Then maybe Father Bartholomew is real too.
Okay, so let's get into the shroud debate. The forgery argument comes mainly from Dr. Gabrielli, right? The Italian chemist.
Correct. He leans heavily on the carbon-14 dating, though the test that placed the shroud's creation somewhere between 1260 and 1390 AD, medieval fake, end of story.
But what really made Gabrielli's argument compelling, according to the sources, was his public demonstration.
Right. He showed he could actually replicate a shroud-like image using common medieval stuff, red ochre, vermilion.
And crucially, produce an image that functions as a photographic negative.
Which is the shroud's defining feature, yeah. And the whole concept of photography was centuries away. So how could a medieval artist do that?
It does raise a huge question. If a medieval artist could accidentally create a perfect photographic negative, doesn't that sink the whole supernatural authenticity argument?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But the pro-authenticity side, people like Father Mida, the church's own chemical expert, they argue Gabrielli's replica misses 3 crucial forensic points.
Okay, what are they?
First, Mida says the real shroud image is non-contact, meaning there's no distortion like you'd get from paint soaking in or even from a body directly touching the cloth. No gravity effects, no stretching effects.
Okay. Second,
the shroud has chemically verified, anatomically correct blood flows. Real blood hemoglobin, serum albumin detected, not just pink.
And third,
a total lack of pigments or dyes on the actual image fibers, which directly contradicts Gabrielli using ochre and vermilion paint.
So 2 chemists, same artifact, opposite conclusions on whether it's paint or something else.
Exactly. And this is where the theoretical physicists step in and things get really, really strange.
Dr. Buchholz from CERN.
Yep, a particle physicist. She rejected both the forgery idea and the pure faith explanation. She focused purely on how the image itself could have formed.
And she used that NASA imaging tool, the VP8.
The VP8 image analyzer, yeah. And her conclusion was startling. The shroud image is essentially a 3D hologram.
Okay, hang on. A 3D hologram? Why is that scientifically significant here?
Well, think about it. A hologram contains depth information encoded onto a 2D surface. It's not flat like a painting or a scorch. This implies the image wasn't formed by direct contact or by simple painting.
So how did it form, according to her?
Buchholz theorized it was formed by an instantaneous, incredibly high-energy blast, like a burst of intense radiation or scorching heat acting on the linen from a distance, an event horizon, she called it.
An event horizon, like from a black hole?
Sort of analogous, yeah, boundary event. And this energy burst, this proposed mechanism, provides a potential scientific framework for the resurrection theory.
How so?
Well, if the man on the shroud was resurrected via some massive immediate energy event, that energy release could be consistent with modern physics ideas about multiple dimensions, maybe even time warps.
Wow. Okay, so that connects back to Father Bartholomew's claims.
Absolutely. It potentially gives a scientific underpinning for his own claims of slipping in time and space, of experiencing Golgotha non-linearly. Remember his background.
Quantum uncertainty.
Exactly. Suddenly seems less like a random career path and more like maybe preparation for this kind of experience.
And his claims of nonlinear time travel got this spectacular confirmation, didn't they? The second big public incident.
St. Patrick's Cathedral. During Mass.
He manifests the full passion wounds, crown of thorns, the feet wounds all at once.
Right, confirming he's experiencing these events out of sequence, jumping around in Christ's passion, seemingly.
And the climax of that moment.
He levitated, just hovered above the altar, arms outstretched in the crucifixion pose.
Can you imagine being there? Mass just stops. There's a TV reporter filming the whole thing. The priest is floating, bleeding from wounds that shouldn't
A
exist.
very different kind of Sunday service, yeah.
Yeah.
And all of this was building towards day 27, the private viewing of the Shroud in Turin for the Pope.
The ultimate confrontation. Bartholomew stands before the actual shroud.
And he perfectly replicates the posture, the specific foot position, the arm angle, exactly matching the figure on the cloth.
And then the final twist, the truly baffling part. This woman, Anne Cassidy,
Who claimed to be his half-sister, and who Dr. Castle had noted looked exactly like Bartholomew's dead mother.
she calls out to him.
And Bartholomew looks right at her and says, "Mother, please join me. We are returning home."
And then
And then they vaporized. Just gone. Not like a magician's trick, the sources are clear. It was a brilliant burst of pulsing blue light, radiance.
An event horizon again?
That's what it felt like, apparently. Everyone there, the Pope, Dr. Castle, everyone felt this pulse of energy pass through them, physically threw them to the ground.
Yeah.
And the shroud image itself, it visibly darkened, then brightened, reacting to the energy.
And the final blow to Castle's skepticism.
Oh, the absolute reality breakdown for him. Anne Cassidy left a note for Castle, revealing she was Anne Bartholomew, Paul's mother. She'd faked her death years ago, returned for this dual mission.
And they confirmed it.
Face recognition software confirmed it. Anne Cassidy and Anne Bartholomew, same person. And law enforcement. Zero records for any Anne Cassidy or her supposed father. She never existed, officially.
So you look right back to these completely opposing conclusions. You've got two powerful scientific camps trying to explain this vanishing act.
Right. Was it the ultimate, incredibly sophisticated magical deception? That's kind of Gabrielle's implication, right? Misdirection, maybe hidden hydraulics for the levitation, the whole family being brilliant charlatans.
Or was it what the physicists proposed? A documented event horizon transition, a real shift into another dimension, affirming not just the resurrection maybe, but the existence of non-linear time, consciousness transfer, all the stuff Buchholz was talking about.
The CERN physicists' view, yeah.
The genius of this whole case, I think, and the real takeaway for you, the listener, is how all these different paths, skeptical psychiatry, historical forensics, cutting-edge physics, they all end up at the same mind-bending frontier.
Yeah, they really do. The fundamental questions about time, space, consciousness, they keep challenging our perception of what's real.
It forces you to ask, what does real even mean in this context?
And Bartholomew's old advisor, Dr. Silver, he offered this really profound closing thought. He suggested, look, physics accepts maybe 10 or more dimensions, right?
Theoretically.
Yeah. So what looks like a psychological disorder in our familiar 4 dimensions, maybe it's just someone, a traveler, accessing another reality that we can't perceive.
Like looking at a 2D shadow and thinking the shape is impossible.
Exactly. When really it's just a projection of a complex 3D object you can't fully see. And if the best physicists say time travel isn't technically ruled out by the laws of nature, well, how can we definitively judge the reality of past events or the state of a man who claimed he slipped through time?
The universe might just be stranger than even our best equations can capture.
Could be.
Indeed. That was a deep dive into the physicist, the psychiatrist, and the Shroud Codex. Until next time.